Picture this. It's November 14th, 1448, in Targovist, Wallachia, and the air bites like a blade. The stone corridors of Targovist Palace carry screams that'd make your skin crawl, echoing like the wails of the damned. Out in the courtyard, under a sky choked with winter clouds, a 17-year-old stands motionless, his eyes cold as river stones. That's Vlad Dracula, and he's staring at a nightmare he created. A forest of wooden stakes stretches before him, each one crowned with an Ottoman prisoner, their bodies twisting in agony. The stench of burning flesh and fresh blood hangs heavy, sending servants retching into the shadows. This isn't some random act of cruelty, it's Vlad's handiwork. A grotesque symphony conducted by a kid barely out of his teens. How does an 11-year-old prince become the guy who impales thousands, the name whispered as history's ultimate sadist? Welcome to WTF History, where we're diving into the 6 years of hell that turned a boy into a legend carved in blood. Let's go back to 1431, a freezing winter in Sigosora, a fortress town tucked in the Carpathian Mountains. A boy named Vlad is born, the second son of Vlad Dracula, a name tied to the chivalric order of the dragon, though his enemies sneer it as devil. Wallachia, his home, is a speck of a principality caught between two predators, the Ottoman Empire, Hungary for Christian lands, and the Kingdom of Hungary, demanding loyalty and tribute. It's a deadly balancing act, and young Vlad grows up in its shadow. His mornings are filled with Orthodox prayers, priests chanting in Old Church Slavonic, the air thick with incense. By noon, those same castle halls ring with the shouts of diplomats from Budapest and Constantinople, each side pulling Wallachia in opposite directions. Vlad's just a kid, but he's watching his dad flip from warm father to slick diplomat in a heartbeat. He's learning that survival means playing every side, that truth is a luxury, and that today's friend could be tomorrow's killer. By age 5, in 1436, Vlad's dad finally secures the Wallachian throne with Hungarian help, but it's a crown with strings attached. The Hungarians want Wallachia as a buffer against the Ottomans, while the Ottomans threaten to crush it if it doesn't bow. Vlad II's dancing a desperate jig, promising loyalty to both while praying they'll clash with each other instead of him. The royal household's a pressure cooker, meals cut short by messengers reporting Ottoman armies or Hungarian demands for more gold. Even the castle guards swap uniforms depending on who's visiting. Vlad and his younger brother Radu, born 3 years later, grow up in this paranoia. Vlad's intense, always brooding, devouring military books like they're his lifeline. Radu's all charm, quick with a laugh, more at home with poetry than swords. They're tight, but their differences are stark, and those differences are about to shape their fates in ways no one could guess. When Vlad's 11, the pressure on his dad hits breaking point. The Hungarian king, Vladislaus III, is suspicious of Wallachia's fence-sitting, and Sultan Murad II, who's conquered half the Balkans, wants hard proof of submission. Vlad II's tightrope is fraying, and he needs a bold move to save his throne. Then, like a lifeline, an Ottoman envoy arrives with an offer. A meeting with the Sultan in Giurgiu, just across the Danube, to secure Wallachia's autonomy. It sounds too good to be true, a chance to keep the Hungarians at bay and lock in his son's future. Vlad too jumps at it, packing for the trip with hope he hasn't felt in years. To show good faith, he brings his boys, 11-year-old Vlad and 8-year-old Radu. It's a family mission to save their dynasty. What he doesn't know is that he's walking into a trap that'll rewrite history. Autumn 1442, and the delegation rolls out, golden leaves scattering across Wallachia's roads. Vlad's got his nose pressed to the carriage window, watching familiar forests fade into foreign soil. They cross the Danube, and at first, it's all silk curtains and polite Ottoman guards, like a proper diplomatic summit. But within hours, the trap springs shut. Vlad too's whisked to separate quarters, and the boys are led to suitable accommodations. They won't see their dad for 6 years. Their new home is Topkapi Palace in Constantinople, a so-called school for noble captives. Sounds fancy, right? It's anything but. This place is a machine built to erase Christian identities and churn out Ottoman puppets. For Vlad, it's the start of a nightmare that'll either break him or forge him into something the world's never seen. The palace is a gilded prison, silk robes, exotic feasts, endless libraries, but it's all a facade. The Ottomans are masters of mind games, and Vlad's their new target. He's 11, stubborn as a mule, clinging to his Orthodox faith. When they tell him to bow toward Mecca, he stands like stone. When they push him to recite Quranic verses, he clamps his mouth shut. That defiance makes him a problem. And the Ottomans don't mess around. The abuse starts small, serving wine at banquets while nobles mock Christianity, constant surveillance to catch any hint of rebellion. Meanwhile, Radu's taking a different path. The kid's a natural, picking up Turkish like it's nothing, saying Islamic prayers with a grin. He's the palace darling, and it's driving Vlad up the wall, watching his little brother drift into the enemy's embrace. The abuse gets uglier. The palace has a system. Young captives, especially the good-looking ones, are used by higher-ups in ways that go way beyond education. For Vlad, it's subtle at first. Hands lingering during lessons, forced communal baths, sleeping arrangements that leave him exposed. Each step is deliberate, building a cage where resistance is dangerous. The Ottomans know this game. Sexual domination breaks proud boys, turning them into tools. Radu's thriving, charming his way into the court's heart, while Vlad's defiance marks him for worse. He's isolated, cut off from other captives who've either converted or vanished. Every day's a test, and Vlad's facing a brutal choice. Keep fighting and pay the price, or give in and lose himself. But something in him, maybe his dad's grit, maybe his faith, won't bend. Instead, it hardens, setting the stage for a transformation no one could predict. We're still in Constantinople, 1443, and Vlad's first year in Topkapi Palace has been a descent into hell. At 12, he's learning what survival really means. The Ottomans are relentless, their school a factory for breaking spirits. The abuse is constant now. Humiliations at banquets, isolation from anyone who might understand him, and those private lessons that leave invisible scars. Vlad's defiance, his refusal to pray, to bow, to break, makes him a target, and the Ottomans lean in harder. They parade Radu's success to shame him. By now, Radu's 9, practically an Ottoman prodigy, fluent in Turkish, leading prayers like he was born to it. He's their golden boy, and every time Vlad sees him laugh with pashas or wear Ottoman silks, it's like a fresh wound. The brothers are being torn apart, not by distance, but by what they're becoming. The abuse escalates. Those late-night summons to private chambers aren't just threats anymore. They're routine. Vlad's forced into situations no kid should endure, each one designed to crush his pride. The Ottomans are experts at this, using shame and pain to reprogram their captives. Resistance means more punishment, and Vlad's paying the price. He's cut off from other holdouts, who keep disappearing, transferred, they say, or sick. The palace is a maze of eyes, every move watched, every defiance cataloged. But Vlad's not breaking the way they want. He's learning to dissociate, retreating into a mental fortress where the pain can't reach him. In that dark space, he's not just surviving, he's studying. Every insult, every violation, every lesson in fear, he's filing it away, turning their cruelty into his curriculum. By his second year, Vlad's a ghost, thin, hollow-eyed, moving through the palace like a sleepwalker. The officials think they're winning. He's quieter, less defiant. They dress him in silks for show, trot him out at state functions as proof of their success. But behind those blank eyes, something's brewing. Vlad's not submitting. He's playing their game, biding his time. He starts asking questions about Ottoman tactics, their sprawling empire, how they keep it all in line. The officials eat it up, thinking he's coming around. They don't see he's gathering intel, memorizing names, mapping weaknesses. Every noble who mocks him, every hand that crosses a line, he stores it for later. Later is coming, even if he can't name the day. Radu's ascent makes it worse. By 13, he's leading prayers, advising on court matters, practically an Ottoman noble. The officials stage moments to break Vlad. Radu at the high table while Vlad serves, Radu praised while Vlad's mocked. It's psychological warfare, meant to make Vlad feel alone, defeated. But it's backfiring. Each slight feeds a growing darkness in him, a cold resolve taking root. Then, in 1445, everything shifts. A Serbian prince, a kid like Vlad who's resisted for 3 years, is dragged to the courtyard. The Ottomans make a spectacle of him, impaling him on a stake, not to kill him quick, but to let him scream for hours. The captives are forced to watch, the message clear. Resist, and this is you. For most, it's a breaking point, conversion spike. For Vlad, it's a revelation. He watches with a scientist's sigh, noting how fear paralyzes the crowd, how the threat of pain controls better than pain itself. At 13, he gets it. Power isn't armies or gold. It's making people believe you'll do the unthinkable. The Ottomans just gave him their playbook. Vlad's transformation accelerates. By 1446, he's 15, tougher, sharper, a machine behind those hollow eyes. He's memorized every official who's heard him, every noble who's laughed. He studies maps, learns Turkish military terms, files away provincial governors' weaknesses. The Ottomans think they've tamed him. He's conducting reconnaissance. Radu's being groomed for a big role, maybe governing Wallachia as a puppet. The brothers' paths are splitting for good, and Vlad's pity for Radu is tinged with a promise of vengeance. As 1448 nears, political shifts in Wallachia spark rumors of release. The Ottomans see a chance to install loyal rulers, and the brothers are prepped to go home. The officials congratulate themselves, thinking they've molded a docile prince in Vlad and a perfect servant in Radu. They're about to find out how wrong they are. It's 1448, and Vlad Dracula's back in Wallachia, 17 years old and carrying 6 years of scars no one can see. The boy who left is gone. In his place is something the Ottomans never meant to create. His first reign is a flash, just 2 months before the Hungarians kick him out, but it's a taste of what's coming. When he seizes power again in 1456, the world meets the monster forged in Constantinople. Vlad's not just ruling, he's rewriting terror itself. He's taken the Ottoman playbook and made it his own, turning their lessons into a masterclass of cruelty. Impalement becomes his calling card, inspired by that Serbian prince's execution. But Vlad's not mimicking, he's innovating, tweaking stake heights and angles to drag out the suffering. In 1459, he unveils his masterpiece, the Forest of the Impaled outside Targovist, 30,000 Saxon merchants and their families skewered in a grotesque display. The stakes are arranged like a cathedral of pain, the stench so vile that Ottoman envoys puke and their horses freeze. Impalements just the start. Vlad boils prisoners in cauldrons, skins them, and hangs their flesh like flags. Even nails an Ottoman commander's turban to his skull for refusing to remove it. He dines while victims bleed out, unfazed. But it's not just brutality, it's strategy. He hosts enemies at lavish banquets, all smiles, then shows them the stakes waiting outside. Most surrender on the spot, terrified of joining the forest. His 1462 night attack is a stroke of genius. 10,000 men against 90,000 Ottoman troops, aiming for Sultan Mehmed II's tent. It doesn't kill the Sultan, but it breaks him. Mehmed retreats, haunted by the boy he helped shape. Vlad's learned that fear is power, and he wields it like a blade. Estimates say he killed 80,000 people, a quarter of Wallachhia's population. German pamphlets spread his name across Europe, painting him as a demon. His brother Radu, now an Ottoman governor, is the system's success story. Their 1462 clash is the ultimate showdown. One brother loyal to the empire, the other its darkest creation. It's 1476, and Vlad Dracula's reign of terror is crumbling. After years of bloodshed, his allies are done. His own boyars, worn out by the carnage, likely betray him in battle. He dies in a muddy field, a quick end for a man who perfected slow suffering. His head sent to Constantinople, where Sultan Mehmed II, who narrowly escaped Vlad's night raid, displays it as proof that monsters can be killed. But Vlad's story doesn't die. It grows, twisting into Bram Stoker's Dracula, a vampire embodying supernatural evil. Medieval minds couldn't fathom his cruelty as human. They blamed demons, not the Ottoman palace that shaped him. Was Vlad mad or a mastermind? Both. His brutality was calculated, a tool to control stronger enemies. But it was also compulsive, born from 6 years of trauma. The Ottomans wanted a puppet. They got a predator who outdid their own methods. His reign, 80,000 dead, entire regions traumatized, proved he'd mastered their game. Vlad's transformation from a hopeful prince to a legend of horror shows what happens when you break a child to control a kingdom. The Ottomans thought they were crafting a servant. Instead, they built a monster whose name still chills us, a reminder that the darkest evils aren't born. They're forged, one cruel lesson at a time. Thanks for diving into this wild ride with us on WTF History. What do you think? Did Vlad's trauma justify his terror, or was he always destined for darkness? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for more insane stories from the past. Until next time, keep questioning history. It's got plenty of shadows to explore.